Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at Faj9's Aggro Druid. Aggro Druid is a deck that we've played quite a lot of. Really love the archetype. Unfortunately, it hasn't really found a place in the metagame for quite a long time. But always like testing these decks out, and Faj9's decks getting a bit of attention over on Hearthstone. If you are watching on Hearthstone, of course, please feel free to jump over, sub on the YouTube channel. We do lots and lots of content, lots of variety decks. If you want to stay up to date with what's going on in the metagame, come join us. Regardless, we've got a pretty interesting list here. I don't think this is how I'd design Aggro Druid, but I'm very keen to try out a couple of these more kind of off-meta or new cards within the archetype to see how it's evolved. So we've got a good selection of 1-drops here. We've got Acris Veteran, Argent Squire, Diamol, Saronite Taskmaster. A lot of these are, you know, Argent Squire and Diamol quite resilient. Saronite Taskmaster also quite resilient, but also quite aggressive as well. Probably one of the better 1-drops we've seen in quite a while. The second coming of the what's his name? The Chow, the zombie Chow. Also got Acris Veteran in here. It's a nice way to apply some extra pressure to those controlling decks. Noticeably absent is Firefly, which I think is one of the better 1-drops, particularly if it is a Keleseth deck, just because it can help us get that granularity in our deck for those first couple of turns. I'd also like to see another 1-drop in here. I think kind of the 5 1-drops is about where you want to be at, you know, 8 to 10. We've got Keleseth in here, great addition for a deck that has so many creatures in it, of course. Onto the 3-drop slot, which we do have a lot of. There are a lot of 3-drops in this deck. Crypt Lord, one of the best ways to protect our more brittle minions, protect our 1-drops, grows out of control, quite difficult for other minion-based decks to deal with, and of course decks like Odd Paladin, of course. We've got Henchclan Thug, which if you've played Rogue, you definitely, or have played against a Rogue at any point in the last 6 to 9 months, you've seen Henchclan Thug. You know that it can grow out of control. I don't know how much I like it in Druid, particularly a Druid that doesn't have cards like Claw or Water Boy or things like that to make sure that they can attack every turn. So we'll see how that one goes. 2 Ironbeak Owls is fantastic. Ornery Tortoise, we've played this in that Goodhout's Odd Paladin deck, and it was phenomenal. There's this big body boy, great for aggressive decks, helps stay on board, really good. I really like this card. Raid Leader, more of an Odd Paladin staple, but bring it into the Aggro Druid. I can totally get behind this if we actually had quite a lot of go wide minions, a lot of token generators and things like that. But we actually don't have very many in this deck. Something that's noticeably absent. It's like we've got all of the cards that benefit from creating multiple minions, like Savage Roar, Crypt Lord, Raid Leader, these things. But we don't actually have a lot of ways to make multiple minions other than to play them from our hand. Which is quite curious, and we've got the Savage Roar in here, and the one of Boisterous Bard as well, another card that benefits from having multiple minions in play. I think most noticeably absent is not only cards like Microtech Controller or the Landscaping. I can understand not including Landscaping because of Prince Keleseth, but I think cards like Egg Napper or Microtech Controller. Where are you? I think these cards are really important to make sure that you always have a nice wide board so that you can always take advantage of your Raid Leaders, your Savage Roars, your Boisterous Bards, your Branching Paths, your Soul of the Forest, your Fungal Mancer, all of these cards in here. So it's quite interesting that we don't have a lot of those. Also, we don't have any Vicious Fledglings in here. I think Vicious Fledgling does a lot more work than Henchclan Thug in this kind of deck. You know, it's unlikely that you're going to be playing Henchclan Thug and Hero Powering that turn. So they're both kind of going to be 3/3s on the turn that they come into play. But Vicious Fledgling has so much more upside if it survives compared to Henchclan Thug merely just growing by +1/+1 the next time you use your Hero Power. So just a couple of kind of differences there. Arena Fanatic we've got in here as well. We've seen this card. I think a lot of people in chat been doing some experimentation with the Arena Fanatic, but as a 4-drop, I don't know how I feel about it. You know, we're hopefully going to be deploying a lot more of our aggressive cards early on, so by the time that Arena Fanatic comes down, are you really going to have too many cards in your hand to take advantage of it? And it's also a 4-mana 2/3, so you're not really getting more ahead on the board. It's like you're kind of hedging against the late game, but that's not really where you want to be. So we're very interested to see how well Arena Fanatic goes. But yeah, without further ado, we'll jump into some games. We'll see if we can't discern what cards are good, what cards are bad, and we might actually at the end of the day kind of take a look and see what we change with the deck. So let's jump into some. Alright, we're here up against the Hunter with the Aggro Druid. We've got an interesting selection here. Now, we obviously want to hit our Keleseth, so I think we'll keep the Saronite Taskmaster and send the other two back and hope that we can hit our Keleseth, or at the very least maybe hit a 3-drop for us to deploy. Well, that might have been the worst. That might have been the worst two cards in the deck. Especially against a Hunter. The good thing is that the Taskmaster matches up fairly well against a lot of the 1-drops that our opponent could deploy. They don't have one, so it could be Spell Hunter. Spell Hunter or Beast Hunter with a very bad draw. Cryptlord or Hench Clan Thug? I think Cryptlord, because our opponent does have the coin, and I'm pretty sure every single Hunter deck plays Flanking Strike, so let's mitigate how wrecked we get by Flanking Strike.
To my side.
This is slightly awkward. And at the very least, if we go for this Hench Clan Thug, our opponent has to choose between killing the Crypt Lord with their Flanking Strike or killing the Hench Clan Thug. I mean, if they don't have the Flanking Strike and they give us a little bit of breathing room, like we could go Boisterous Bard, Hero Power. There's the Flanking Strike. And they did have it. No, it's Kill Command. Wow, okay, never mind. We're, wow. Was not expecting that. What are they coining here? A secret?
Quickly.
But the question is, what secret? Alright. So it's not either Snake. Freezing? Were they tanking on freezing because they're scared we could make the hero attack of Taskmaster into Misha? Have this get sent back?
I wonder.
I think this is kind of one of the difficulties we were talking about in the at the start of the series that, you know, right now, if we were to draw, there's no card that we can draw that like builds a big board, right? Like there's no, you know, micro tech control or anything like that. Also, if we had drawn Arena Fanatic, you know, we've drawn a total of three minions this game, 4 minions this game, and at no point would the Arena Fanatic have buffed more than 2 of them.
What to do?
What to do? Hero attack, let's go. He's freezing.
Be inspired!
Be inspired, nerds.
Proof is found.
It's not feeling great, especially if our opponent has a Spellstone here. There's a flanking strike.
I am free! Folks, look out there! For the wild!
Our opponent is 2 kill commands down, so maybe they've got a flanking strike. Maybe they've got baited arrow. Baited arrow for our hench clan thug after trading the wolf, or they could just baited arrow our Keleseth, pressure our face.
I wonder.
Ooh, a hunter's mark. Got the candle shot for that too. Got dogs. And eaglehorn bow. I really want to do +1 attack so that our opponent can't trade. But we might just have to draw and try and hit another 1-drop so that we can actually take advantage of these cards. Well, that's kind of the best case scenario, right?
Peace.
Does our opponent want to use the last charge of that eaglehorn bow? They're not.
The scourge will devour all!
What a bother.
For the wilds! Job's done.
So it's probably Wandering Monster. So hopefully our opponent's pressured to use the last charge of that eaglehorn bow. But then again, you know, Rockdalar, Zul'jin, all these cards are going to do a lot of damage.
I wonder.
I think if we can pick up like a raid leader, any card that will allow us to deploy this Soul of the Forest as well. They're going to use the last charge of that Eaglehorn bow? They are. Maybe that means they have Rockdala. Maybe it means they think that once they can stabilize behind Zul'jin, which they probably can. Weird. Serena Fnatic looks great.
I'm like everyone's biggest fan.
For the
They have Zul'jin. What do you? Why didn't you trade before? That's what I want to know. I guess they have both kill commands in the pool, so if they have Zul'jin, they've both Unleashed the Hounds in as well. And yeah, if there's Zul'jin, they might actually discover lethal. Especially if the to my sides go off
Here
first.
comes the big ass.
So I probably did. That's okay. Okay. No huffles. 6. Punch. 4. 6. Munch. 4. Oh, it's explosive trap. Interesting. And that's freezing. Still doesn't matter though, because all we have is these things. GG. Okay, here with the Rogue. I'll keep the Serenite Taskmaster, send everything back, try and find our Kaliseth. The Ironbeak Owl doesn't really match up very well against Rogue anyway. Oh, we might actually get to see how Arena Fnatic goes in the ideal situation, given that we have a couple of our only 5 drops.
This was sent in by Morgan Davey. Keep it wavy. Morgan Davey, thank you.
Well, that is definitely an interesting name. Thank you for the follow.
Prove your worth, cur.
How you going? How you going, Henty? How you going, Henty? You having a fantastic holiday season? Got anything planned? I think we'll stick this Crypt Lord early. I think it's important to get this down against Rogue because it really Hintonal. Hintonal, yeah. That's definitely a drug, Hintonal. But yeah, against Rogue, the Crypt Lord can be quite devastating, but against Tempo, not so much, because they have access to Sap, amongst other things.
The light protects me.
Yes, we could have saved like an Argent Squire and just gone for the hero power there. We would have actually then been able to Crypt Lord and trade in, because it gives us an extra buff off the Arena Fnatic. Whoa! What is happening here? Ugh. And we're probably going to get vanished at some point anyway.
I'm like everyone's biggest fan. Stand down. I fight.
Oh, Shark, what do you got? What do you got for us? I have one more final tomorrow, so I'm going to lurk for a little while I say. No worries, Daedric, go for it. Got to get that last 90%, you know. I think you've got this. I think you've got this.
Brotherhood shall prevail.
That's Big Van Cleef. guess if we put it here, it actually... the Van Cleef can't bash through it.
What to do?
If they have the sap, where it's a high value target anyway. Maybe we just go for the soul of the forest.
The light protects me.
This is awesome!
I fight.
Find a room! Time waits for no one.
Stand down!
Mushroom power! I am free!
Maybe they should have considered killing that Saranite first and buffing the this guy with the fungal monster. Very cute. Okay. I think that's gonna be better because +2/+2 trade here. Then we have 3, 6, 10, 11. Do we die to this Van Cleef though? 10,
Wonder.
13, 15, 19. Definitely don't die to that Van Cleef.
I fight. I fight.
For the wild. Job's done.
So now our opponent has to both clear everything, but also clear all the treants. Because if we have, as long as there's 2 treants up and our opponent doesn't have a taunt, then the fungal mancer will kill them. Let's run out. Yeah. Big fan of knights. Wild one. If they have the other backstab for the treant, it actually stops lethal.
Smart moves. I concede.
Got him. Got him. Win for the good guys. GG. Alright, up here against the mage. Definitely keep this Diamol. I'd be pretty tempted to actually keep this Acros veteran as well, but you know, we always want to hit that Kaliseth. Hit it early. Hit it proud.
None will
Odd.
survive.
Odd Mage. This might be a little bit tough for us. Especially if this is more of the controlling Odd Mage. You know, if our opponent's got 2 Blast Waves and 2 Dragon's Furies in our deck, I'm not too sure how we can beat that unless we get a good Soul of the Forest off before they play the first one. I wonder if this is the right deck for it. I mean, if you're playing a deck where the idea is that you're supposed to kill your opponent on turn, say 7 at the latest, right? Which I think is a pretty reasonable thing to say for a deck like this, that, you know, once things get beyond turn 7, you're probably unfavoured. Generally unfavoured. Do we just hope that our opponent doesn't have Blast Wave? Or doesn't have Dragon's Fury? Like, is that the play? But yeah, if you consider that beyond turn 7 you're unfavoured, and that at the earliest you have Keleseth on 2, we'll ignore Coin Keleseth. We should. I think, but turn 2 Keleseth is fine. What are we doing here? But yeah, like, if you play Keleseth on turn 2, and then you only get 5 draws that matter with the Keleseth buff, but you have 2, 4, 6... You've got 6 non-creatures in the deck, so a fifth of your deck doesn't get a buff from Keleseth. So you get 4, on average, 4 draws of buffed minions. Is that enough to warrant not having a 2-drop slot?
Handle it!
Speak your peace.
For the wild.
I'm not too sure. Not too sure. You know, a deck like Tempo Rogue or something like that can take extra advantage of it because they have cards like Elven Minstrel, which will put it like in general they have a lot more card draw, a lot more ways to rip poisonous. Damn it! A lot more ways to rip things out of the deck. Can I Savage Roar? Is there a way that I can do this where I only lose 1 minion? Savage Roar, Hero Power, so 3. None of them will be 6s though.
I wonder.
Prove your worth, Cur.
What a bother.
I wait for no one. For the wild.
Sucks to lose a raid leader, but it's a bit of a liability given our opponent has a 2 damage hero power. But yeah, I'm just not sure if Keleseth is the right kind of card here when we could play just a bunch of kind of aggressive 2-drops, you know, Mighty Berserkers, things like that. Make sure we're always curving out.
Are flawless.
Obey my command.
Okay.
We're
definitely good. I think even if we rip the Iron Beak Owl off, I mean, our opponent's double trading there. So, GG. Well played to our opponent. I think we'll check out the list. Like I said, I think there's a lot of cards in here that I wouldn't consider playing it if I was to build an Aggro Druid. A lot of cards I am a fan of. I actually went ahead and I kind of just quickly threw together what I think an Aggro Druid that I would play would look like, and I've gone for a Keleseth build like Faj9 did. Just kind of work within the same kind of constraints there. But this is what I would look at. I'd have a nice thick 1-drop slot, with the same kind of 1-drops: Acris Veteran, Argent Squire, Diamol, Saronat Taskmaster. But I want to get Firefly in here for a bit more granularity. Gives us 2 minions, which obviously we have a lot of things that benefit us going wide, so I think that's right. Also got a 1 of Naturalize in here. I think in a deck that cares more about time, we care about those first couple of turns and killing our opponent really quickly. We're less concerned about giving our opponent cards, so I actually really like Naturalize within a lot of these tokeny druid, aggro druid kind of things. Gone for a couple of similar cards: Crypt Lord, Savage Roar, but also getting Microtech Controller in here. I think we want to go wide. It's very good. I also got Vicious Fledgling in here. It's just another great 3-drop card that, if left unchecked, will take over a game no matter what. So it really pressures decks to have the answer early. Otherwise, they do start suffering. We've also got some 4s in here. I like Singleton Dark Iron Dwarf. This could be, another flex card somewhere. It could be another Ironbeak Owl. Could be a Void Ripper. Could be any number of different things. Could be some weapon removal. Solar Forest still in here. 2 Spellbreakers to help get through taunts. I think if you have the opportunity of playing Spellbreaker or Ironbeak Owl, you should almost always go for Spellbreaker. It usually ends up fitting the curve better because there are less good 4-drops than there are good 3-drops, and also the body is just so much more relevant. And then Fungalmancer and Leroy in there just for a little bit of extra reach. But that's kind of how I'd go with things. Get some more benefits of going wide. Sorry, get some more things that allow you to go wide rather than things that benefit off of going wide, like the Boisterous Bard and those raid leaders, because there really isn't any card in this deck that goes wide other than just playing more minions from your hand. Regardless, big shout out to Faj9 for trying something with this deck. I still think it has some legs, and it's a fairly budget deck, so if you've got a lot of the pieces, give this one a try. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Hearthstone, drop a comment. Let me know how the deck's been going for you. Do you think you want to be more aggressive, more late game? Do you want to have more cards that go wide? Do you want to have less cards that capitalize on going wide? In particular, we didn't really talk about it, but how do you feel about branching paths? Is it just like a little bit too clunky at 4 mana? Is it the best card in the deck? Let me know. If you are watching on YouTube, all the links down in the description, including link over to that Hearthstone deck article. Also down there is a Twitch link, YouTube link, Twitter link, all the good stuff. Check everything out. And until next time, stay safe, stay wavy, and roar savagely. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.